What is the government press office? It's an unpolitical body which belongs to the Prime Minister office, but all the appointments are professional. They are not political appointments. It means that it is not dependent on certain government or Prime Minister. We have 4 departments at the government press office. One is in charge of Israeli media. We have approximately 4,000 active Israeli journalists. The second department is in charge of the foreign press. It is my department, and we'll talk about numbers very soon. And the third department is new media. It's relatively new, obviously, and it is managing the government press office website, newsletters, Facebook and Twitter accounts, and even Instagram. And the fourth, last and not least, is the photography department. So we archive these pictures, the photos, in what we call National Photo Collection, which is also open, free of charge for everyone to download. Any foreign journalist that wants to work in Israel, of course he needs a work permit, will have to pass via the GPO and be accredited, follow the rules that are transparent, online and equal. I'm not familiar with any country that is more liberal than Israel when it comes to work visas for press. It can be extended at least 5 years. After 5 years, with a special permission which is always given, is extended indefinitely. When we receive applications, we try to separate between those who are genuine journalists, meaning accredited by a media organization that follow our rules. We have a very clear criteria. For example, if it is a print paper, it has to be printed in at least in a frequency of at least once a week, so it could be considered news. If this is a quarterly magazine, it ceases to be news according to our definition. The circulation should be at least 10,000 copies, and it has to go nationwide. What do we do with an application coming from a website that has the 100,000 unique users, and its name is Electronic Intifada, and its entire existence is dedicated for the destruction of the State of Israel? On one hand, we do believe, and it's not just a statement, in freedom of speech and freedom of press. These are values, and they are protected by legal, by the Israeli law, and we are determined to keep that to the maximum extent that we possibly can. But as you understand from the example, it also poses challenges. Should Israeli government give tools in the hands of those who want to use it against it? The GPO card is a condition for entrance into Gaza. GPO card in principle is not obligatory. Any journalist can come to Israel, enter as a tourist, even with a tourist visa. It's perfectly practical and legal to exercise journalism work up to 90 days. So the only exception is Gaza Strip. And that is because, of course, the border is unfortunately an enemy border. It was decided by the government to enable journalists to enter Gaza Strip, but they need to be accredited. We see, especially in times of escalation and also in times of summer vacations, that there are all kinds of activists, students, sometimes even professors that think what is better than spending the summer vacation than go to Gaza and take some pictures and make some stories, and it obviously sells. So we see always rise in the number of those in July and August, and in also winter break. Now, why are we too sensitive about folks getting into Gaza? We are not that sensitive about West Bank, right? Everyone can go to West Bank, but we are sensitive about Gaza. And that is because very little truth can come out from Gaza when the person who monitors the border from the Palestinian side is watching closely every step, of any person that enters the Strip. The Hamas is giving visas. You can't just, even if you have a GPO card, you need the permission from Hamas to enter into Gaza. They will make a background check. They are quite tough about that. And they would escort you with a fixer. Those who do enter to Gaza, in spite of all these restrictions, in general it can be one of two kinds. One, real journalist, sent on real assignment, try to do the best they can. And the other is those that know that Gaza is the easiest way to attack Israel in the stomach by pointing out the stress in Gaza, which we don't deny, the deteriorating quality of life, the rise in unemployment, the shortage of fresh water, the shortage of energy, electricity, even fuel sometimes. And it's very hard to decide where the border is, where the line is between journalism and activism. And on top of that, who is the one who's supposed to draw that line? I mean, we don't want the government to draw the line, obviously. The government has its own political interest. And when we look around the world to see if there are any guidelines in other countries, we came with nothing. Apparently, no country, not even North Korea or Iran, is being challenged in the way Israel is. Challenged, I mean, its own existence is still challenged.